your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Thank you for being with us today on Lubbock Sports Station Double T 97.3. One last thing on the Oakland Coliseum situation. Apparently, the other day, some fans Tuesday night tried to walk out with their seats. Literally, they had uprooted them and tried to leave with them, but they were not allowed to do that. They were stopped before they left the Coliseum, and those seats were returned to their original location. Maybe today. Maybe today they'll have that opportunity. Take your seats.
How cool would that be if you hey, bring your own screwdriver,
right? And
you're allowed to take the seat with you.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
That would be, yeah, right. Everybody just bring your.
I'm sure they can probably make a lot of money selling them.
Bring your wrench that goes. What's that called? The socket.
Socket.
Yeah, wrench. You probably have one of those, don't you?
More than one. Yeah.
Could I borrow it sometime?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Will I get it back?
Oh, absolutely. If I were to borrow something from you, I would actually do a great job of returning that, and in good order too.
Now, it seems like there could be some sort of happy medium to this, right? Because they're ultimately going to have to do this at some point anyway.
Sure.
And so why not? If you want to buy the seat that you were in, you can. Hey, bring your ratchet and your screwdriver, whatever.
Ratchet, that's the word I was looking for.
Whatever you need, and have at it, and bring it to us, and we'll take your $50 payment. Okay, we'll give you credit for the fact that you did the work. Mm-hmm. So we won't charge you $100. We'll only charge you $50, and you can take it with you.
Yeah.
And but maybe that's only like 2 per person or 1 per person kind of deal.
Yeah.
So you don't have some Yahoo coming in there trying to buy them all up so he can sell them to everybody
on
for
eBay.
3 times the price.
Right. Bullfighter said, I saw they were shoveling dirt into bottles for people at last night's game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think you gave me some dirt once of a little, I think it was you. Somebody gave me a little coin of dirt. Was that you, Jeff? It's a little clear, kind of very thin cylinder of dirt. From Royal Stadium. I think it was somebody. Was
it me?
I think it was somebody in this building.
Kind of sounds familiar.
It kind of sounds like something you would do. It was very kind of you.
Mm-hmm. I have coasters. With dirt from old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's very cool. Have you seen what's going on with this hurricane and how it's Helene, I think is how you pronounce it, and how it's affected the Mets and the Atlanta Braves? It's
really bad, really unfortunate for the Mets.
Yeah.
They're supposed to play a doubleheader yesterday that they need to get in. Braves are still alive. They're hanging by a thread. Okay, the Mets are pretty much in, and they're trying to play a doubleheader yesterday, and it gets washed out. And so now they're going to make them play, because they don't have any days off in between. They're going to make them play on Monday. Yeah. So the Mets are going to have to play in the wild card round on Tuesday after playing a doubleheader on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your pitching staff is. And the Mets aren't in a situation, I guess, where they have to win those games. So maybe they can plan accordingly. But, and they're going to have to fly afterwards. That's really unfortunate.
It really is.
In my opinion, they should move that NL series back to Wednesday. Hope it gets done on Thursday. Okay? But you have Friday where nobody plays. Mm-hmm. And if it has to play on Friday, it has to play on Friday. And move theirs a day back. Baseball needs to. That just seems so unfair to the Mets.
Yeah, so they'll fly back to Atlanta for the doubleheader Monday, and then either go to Milwaukee or the West Coast for the start of the wild card series on Tuesday, should they make the playoffs.
Meanwhile, the team that they're playing is just sitting there waiting.
Right. Carlos Mendoza said this. He goes, it could be beneficial. A couple of guys needing an extra day or two, and your bullpen is going to be a little bit fresher.
Maybe it helps them this weekend.
Yeah. So, as far as the wild card race is concerned, the Mets are in a virtual percentage tie with Arizona for that second wild card spot. Arizona has played. They're at 159, and the Mets are at 157, hence the doubleheader. So by a tenth of a percentage point, the Mets are better than Arizona. And then Atlanta is a game back. So obviously those two games for the Mets are very important to the Braves as well. And and who knows, maybe by, not that the Royals have been lighting it up, because they certainly need to win, and they're on their own little dogfight because they're in they are tied with Detroit for the second wild card spot right now, but Minnesota is lurking. They're 2 back, and Seattle is still got an outside shot, but they're 2.5 back, 3 in the loss column with 3 to play for them. So that seems really unlikely, and it seems unlikely for the Twins as well. It now seems to be like a fight between the Royals and the Tigers for the second wild card spot.
Yeah, and the other one's going to get in as the third wild card team.
As the third wild card team, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a little weather situation affecting that. The divisional races are pretty much settled. The Yankees still have to finish off the Orioles, but they lead by 4 with 4 to play. So,
and now that I look at this in the National League, the Braves are just 1 game back. So
right, that's right. Yeah.
So. Yeah,
they're very much in it.
Yeah, they are. They got a shot still.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the National League, in the divisional races, Philly and Milwaukee have clinched. They're still fighting it out between the Dodgers and the Padres. Padres trail by 3, so that's still a little dicey there for the Dodgers. And those two teams are still. They play tonight. And last night, I believe the Dodgers won yesterday. They did 4-3, so that gave them a little bit of a cushion. And then over the weekend, the Dodgers will play the Rockies in Colorado. Those could be the final 3 games for Bud Black there.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, at some point in time, it ain't working. And then the Padres, meanwhile, play the Diamondbacks. So that's a real series right there. Mm-hmm. Because of where the Diamondbacks are in the wild card spot. So, at any rate, it's going to be fun this weekend. We'll have the Rangers on the air for you this afternoon, and then the Astros will have playoff action for you next week. We'll have Sunday's game, but Astros get to kind of set themselves up because they can't do any worse. They can't do any better with where they are right now.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
10 for this day in sports history. Today is the 26th day of September 2024. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Starting in 1908, Major League Baseball Chicago Cubs' Ed Rombach becomes the only pitcher to throw a double-header shutout.
Wow.
Winning 3-0 in the first game and 5-0 in the second game over the Superbats at Washington Park in Brooklyn. 1953, shortstop Billy Hunter smashes the final home run in the St. Louis Browns' history. During a 6-3 loss to the Chicago White Sox at Busch Stadium, the franchise would move to Baltimore the next season. 1961, New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris hits home run number 60 off of Jack Fisher, tying Babe Ruth's record. 1987, Padres' Benito Santiago gets a rookie hitting streak record of 28 consecutive games.
He was so much fun to watch behind the plate, gunning people down from his knees. And that was a fun time.
1997, Seattle Mariner Ken Griffey Jr. hits his 56th home run of the season. And in 2021, Texas Tech soccer team capped off a 2-0 Big 12 weekend, shutting out Kansas State 2-0 Sunday afternoon at the John Walker Soccer Complex.
Well, let's hope that history repeats itself tonight.
That would be good. Although, if they try to do it at the John Walker Soccer Complex, they'll be the only ones
It'd be
there.
a problem.
Yeah, it'd be a problem. It'd be the only
It'd be
one
their
there.
third straight 2-0 win in Big 12 play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how about that? Look at you, Mr. Soccer aficionado.
I wouldn't go that far.
How far? No. Happy Better Breakfast Day. I don't know if we're supposed to have a better breakfast day or you better have breakfast day. I don't know which way they went with that. And it's also Chimichanga Day.
Chimichanga Day, okay.
I don't know that you should have a chimichanga for breakfast, but
If you like it, why not?
I think I could get behind that. You know.
What's in a chimichanga?
Oh,
beans,
Okay, I'm out.
beef. I mean, it's basically a fried burrito kind of thing.
you know.
Happy birthday to Serena Williams, who's 43. Linda Hamilton, 68. And Jillian Barbary is 58. And on this day in 1960, for the first time in U.S. history, a debate between major party presidential candidates is broadcast on television.
This cost Richard Nixon the election
We'll keep going.
because he sweated on television and under the bright lights, and John Kennedy looked like he had just walked out of a shower, and had that look, in a nice crisp shirt and a tie and a suit, and was eloquent and spoke like Massachusetts and Boston and here's Tricky Dick over there going just had sweat on his upper lip, and he just didn't look very becoming.
Kennedy was also wearing makeup in it. Yeah. And a fun fact about this particular debate, everybody that watched it thought Kennedy won.
Yes.
Everybody that listened to it thought Nixon had won.
Super fun fact. Super fun.
And that is this day in sports history.
So he basically just won it based on his looks?
Well, that and other things. I mean, his dad also helped, stuff election boxes. It's true. I mean, there were a lot of dead people that voted in that election for John Kennedy. And as a result, it was a payoff for his dad. And so he got elected and won, and then didn't win at the end because it ended poorly for him.
It does for most people.
Well, but I mean, it ended a little quicker for Kennedy, I think, than what he thought. I think he thought he was going to get another 4 years. All right, it's time for our lucky local winning word. Brought to you by the Home Zone and Double T 97.3. The Home Zone, making your house a home. We're giving away $10,000 to lucky local listeners. All you have to do is get registered at doublet97.3.com and listen at this time, 6:50 this morning, 8:45 exactly, and at times at 4:45. It won't be today because it will be today. Yeah, we'll have 4:45 today from Twin Peaks for the Tech Talk boys. Then you go to doublet973.com, enter your chance to win. The more times you enter, the more chances you have to win. That's Captain Obvious stuff right there. This is a local contest, so the money stays right here with you, and you get to spend it, hopefully, right here. It's a cash giveaway with Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone. At this point in time, on this 26th day of September 2024, our lucky local winning word, Jamie, is jazz.
Jazz.
Jazz. Jazz. Jazz. Jazz.
We must be in a music section coming up.
Jazz.
Tomorrow going to be alt rock.
No, this is like Utah jazz, NBA jazz.
I was making a joke.
I know you were. Jazz. 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 Guess the joke's over. 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. No. Ta-da! For getting it right.
My joke paid off yesterday.
I know. That's what I said. The joke's over. The joke's over.
It paid off perfectly yesterday. I couldn't have done it it could not have happened any better than yesterday. All I would do now would be beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Jeff's right. Chimichanga, deep fried burrito, common in Mexican, Tex-Mex, and southwestern U.S. cuisine, which is kind of where we are. Flour tortilla, rice, beans, cheese. You like rice, you like cheese, you like beans, and some meat. Could be chopped or shredded. Okay?
Who are you talking to?
It's talking to you. It's in
I do
deep
not like beans.
I know you don't like beans, but you like cheese and you like
But
rice.
you said I like beans.
No, I said you like rice and cheese. I didn't mean to say beans. If I said beans, I apologize because you don't like beans.
Okay.
Except for green beans.
You sound like my wife now telling me what I like.
Man. Right? You like green beans, right?
I do like green beans.
Out of the can, straight out of the can, right?
Straight out of the can is my favorite.
Yeah, straight out of the can. It's then deep fried and can be accompanied by salsa, guacamole, or sour cream. None of those things would work for you.
I'll find something.
Yeah, you'll find
Don't worry,
something.
I won't go hungry.
Yeah,
This belly, I'm good.
You're not going to miss a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of triple plays, which we had one on this day in sports history, how about the other night with the San Diego Padres? A triple play to end the game to clinch a playoff spot.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's got to be a first, right?
It is a first. It has happened. It had happened previously, but like in 1906 and 1910 or something. But this is the first team in Major League Baseball history, modern era, to clinch a postseason spot with a game-ending triple play. Okay. Mm-hmm. You know who still plays for the San Diego Padres? That you just kind of go, well, good for him for figuring it out and finding a way to have.
Technically, he doesn't still. I know who you're going with here. Jerkson Profar.
Yeah.
Because he left and went and played somewhere else and.
True. Okay, so he's
struggled,
back.
And then they went back to the Padres.
Yeah. He's having. How about this? Having success with the Padres.
Yes.
Okay. Having success with the Padres. Jerkson. Good for him. I mean, and that's part of baseball and that's part of life, right? Perseverance. You know, if at first you don't succeed, try again, right?
Absolutely.
You know, so good for him. This texture is wrong.
Unless it comes to spouses.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how many times you should try. Maybe at a certain point you should look in the mirror.
Like if something happened, you wouldn't have a second bite of the apple with somebody, would you?
I think that's very unlikely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very unlikely.
Yeah. Jeff, if you found love in the right spot, would you take another stab at it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would I take a stab back at the last ex? No.
No. Right. You're not going back for that bite of the apple.
What did you say about stabbing your ex?
That's all I'm saying.
6:55 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive. Here's something that could happen on Saturday, Jamie. With 124 yards, Taj Brooks will tie Bam Morris fourth all-time in Texas Tech history. That's a very doable deal.
Okay. 124, yeah, it's possible.
124 yards. I mean, if Taj is getting 124 yards on Saturday, you feeling pretty good about that ball game?
Yeah, because I do feel like at that point you can say that you're doing a good job winning at the line of scrimmage more times than not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's something to kind of keep your old eye on the old ball for, and kind of keep your head in the ball game so that you don't get too distracted with your seatmates or people, just all the stuff that's going on. I have not seen this yet, so I don't know, and I don't know how many of those that you can do because they're. I'm going to guess that they're somewhat expensive, but drone show for Saturday.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
It's a night game. You're just wondering.
Yeah, it's a night game.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a compliment. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. I have said before, and I say again, Morning Drive is a unique radio program. We're a URP. We're unique. And it would not be the same without any one of you three. Or like the three amigos.
I definitely think it's a unique, and part of what makes it unique is our three oddball personalities. So I think that's all fair.
Yeah, but you could say that about really every one of our shows, don't you think? I mean, they're all unique, which is
sure.
And there's a collection of oddball personalities.
Sure. He said it wouldn't be the same, but he didn't say it wouldn't be better.
Yes.
Might be better with others.
Yes.
But it would definitely be different.
It would definitely.
Like it could be much improved with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Right. Here's a statistical matchup to keep an eye on for Saturday. This is third down percentage defense, Jamie. There's 16 teams in the Big 12 Conference. Texas Tech is ranked 11th in third down conversion percentage defense, 91st in the FBS. Meanwhile, Cincinnati is 4th in third down conversion percentage defense and 42nd overall. So you may want to kind of keep an eye on that, because Texas Tech on the season is third offensively in conversion defense and conversion offense, conversion just on third down when you have the ball, and Cincinnati is fifth. So winning third down might be critical.
Every game.
And
every game, that's important. Yeah, you got to be able to stay on the field and continue drives, and it feels like if you have a good run game, your odds are so much better at getting that done. And then defensively, getting off the field on third down, to me, one of the big keys there is being able to pressure the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And so speaking of that, pressuring the quarterback, two things. Texas Tech is 15th in the conference in sacks per game, less than 1 per game. Cincinnati is 6th, a little over 2.25 sacks per game. And when it comes to tackles for loss, Cincinnati is 7th with almost 6 a game. Texas Tech is 14th. At 5 a game. Again, we're talking about that line of scrimmage, whether it's offense or defense, and just how crucial and how important that is, and how it will be for Saturday's game. Now, the other thing too is you're allowed to, get the ball out quicker, and maybe we'll see some of that. Maybe we'll see some quicker pops by Baron Morton on Saturday. Might see some shorter passes, but
I think we see a lot of that.
Yeah, but we might see more
sideways.
Yeah, sideways. But
right.
if they're effective, right?
If they're effective, yes.
Yeah, if they're effective,
yes.
Yeah.
Hey, your offense is way more effective when you're challenging all spots on the field.
Sure.
Down the field, ins, out, whatever. Not just throwing it horizontally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that we've been a team that's gotten the ball out of our quarterback's hands quickly, and I think part of that is to protect the offensive line.
Yeah, because you've had to. You just haven't had a choice. So a couple people to look at, from their standpoint, and really, I mean, Coach McGuire talked about this guy the other day. He's number 21. His name is Corey Kiner. 64 rushes, 404 yards, a couple of touchdowns. And then their quarterback is Brendan Sorsby. He's thrown for 8 touchdowns and no interceptions so far this year.
Taking care of the ball, that's good.
But, I mean, you got to say that your quarterback's done a pretty good job taking care of the ball, too.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for the road game.
Yeah, except for the road game. Mm-hmm. And, but you get to play at home this week.
Yep, that's good news.
So it's just so weird. It's just so weird. And maybe it is simply as the level of competition, but it just feels like there's more to it.
Yeah, I'm sure it factors in.
It just feels like there's more to it than that, though, doesn't it?
I don't know. Maybe it's in their heads a little bit.
Are we thinking about it too much?
Are we thinking about it?
We collectively, as a group, as a unit, as a city, as a football community, as a team, program, coach.
Whoa, what we think about doesn't affect what happens in the game, and what the players think about, that might affect it.
I know, but if we send off bad karma, or just bad, vibes, sometimes that has a tendency to seep in. to people.
Okay.
It's just like,
I'm going to continue to try to send out realistic vibes. Okay. I hope the team is mentally tough enough to fight through the vibes that I put out on the radio for 3 hours a day.
You're so good. If cloning were available, okay, we would clone more of you than any of us.
Goodness no.
Yes, we would. We would.
No.
Because you're so level-headed and smart and thinking, and always seem to say the right thing. Don't ever say anything stupid. But
I only appear level-headed because
you're with me.
I'm with you. Am I right here, Jeff? It's just
Let's see. If I agree with my boss, I am insulting my host.
That's okay.
If I disagree with my boss, I'm going to choose not to answer on the grounds that I may incriminate myself.
Jamie's way more important. He's way more important. Robert says, Chuck, you are unique. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I'll take that compliment.
I think that we all are.
Unique?
Yeah, I think that we're all unique.
That was the plan, right?
There's like positives to some of our uniqueness, and there's negatives to some of our uniqueness.
So is your chief concern Saturday what happens on the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively? Is that your chief concern?
Yeah, I think that's their strength. I think that's your weakness. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to go away from that.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to be as simple as that, right?
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, it really. It's like we can X and O this thing to death, but we need that front five. You five right here. Keep 97 off of this guy's back, because that's one of the big numbers that Coach McGuire is throwing out there. 97. And then from a defensive standpoint, you're going to tell your guys, they say they got 3 NFL guys right here. Prove them wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the pregame speech right there. You all right over here? 97? Keep him away from 2. All right? You guys over here, they got 3 NFL linemen. Prove them wrong. Now let's go get them.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, we're looking at the Big 12 schedule for today's question of the day. The games this weekend include Cincinnati playing at Texas Tech, K-State hosting Oklahoma State, BYU is at Baylor, Kansas is home for TCU, a matchup of Colorado and UCF in Orlando, Iowa State travels to Houston, and Utah is home for Arizona. Those are your Big 12 games this weekend. I want you to tell me which one you think has the best chance for an upset.
Oh, an upset. An upset. I was listening to Colin Cowherd yesterday. He had Joel Klatt on from Fox Sports. He had done that Colorado game, and he said one thing that Colorado hasn't done very well is handling success. So he's going to be really interested in that game at UCF, and he's pretty high on UCF.
Or handled offenses. They also haven't done that well.
Yeah. Right. So which game is ripe for an upset? I mean, I don't know, and I'm not an odds guy. If
you have questions about the line, let me know. I have the numbers here.
What's the line between Oklahoma State and Kansas State?
5 for K-State.
K-State's favored by 5, and that game is in Manhattan. Okay, I think the ripe for upset is Arizona at Utah, just because Arizona's coming off of a bye. They got thumped against Kansas State in their last game, so I'm sure that the people on, for the Arizona Wildcats, Wildcat 97.3 version there in Arizona, Phoenix area is probably going, who are these guys? They aren't who we thought they were going to be. And so they've probably been hearing a lot about that, about their defense and their lack of offense. And can't beat Utah because Utah's a tough place to play, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to say Arizona over Utah.
Okay.
I don't like my answer. I don't like my answer at all. But Cincinnati at Texas Tech. It's not what I'm picking. That's not what I think is going to happen. But if we're talking best chance for an upset, I don't like that answer. But that's where I'm looking.
Okay, I'll take Oklahoma State over Kansas State. I think both of those teams are really good. I think it could go either way.
Okay.
I do give K-State the advantage because they're playing at home. And I'm just like Jeff just said, I probably will pick Kansas State. But the one that I will not pick is in Waco. Do you know what the line is for that game?
I don't.
What would you guess?
I would guess that Baylor would be favored by 3, but by what you just said, I'm guessing that BYU is favored by 7.
No, I would have expected the BYU, the undefeated team at 4-0, ranked number 22.
Yeah.
Against a pretty average Baylor team, would be favored.
Yeah.
It's Baylor by 3.5.
3.5.
Which is where I'm at. I think Baylor wins that game at home. I am not all in on BYU yet.
Well, I mean, and
it's been a fun story.
Yeah, and that's another one of those games where, okay, you had such a crushing defeat if you're Baylor last week, and you had such a huge win, if you're BYU. So it's like, who handles the failure and who handles the success? That's much like the Oklahoma State Kansas State game, where K-State got thumped, and Oklahoma State gets embarrassed at home by Utah.
Yeah, I'm not with you on the Arizona-Utah one. I do like that for Arizona that they have extra week to prepare for it, but I just don't see them winning there. Although maybe they cover. The line is 11. That seems really high to me. But I don't know. Iowa State favored by 14 over Houston. I bet it'll be double of that.
Sure.
Okay. Biggest line is UCF hosting Colorado. 14.5.
UCF's favored?
Yes.
I don't think they cover that, but I think they win the game.
It's just a matter of can UCF score enough to cover that. Yeah. TCU Kansas. I will be really surprised if TCU wins this game. KU by 1.5.
Yeah, I would tell you this. That's another one of those games. Both those teams have been kind of embarrassed this year. Kansas especially.
I wouldn't say kind of.
They've been embarrassed.
Yeah, TCU just got thoroughly embarrassed.
And here's the other thing is, you talk about environment. This game will be played at Arrowhead. And for the Jayhawks coming off of losses at West Virginia, UNLV, and at Illinois, I mean, the number of people that are going to trudge their way to Arrowhead are just going to go, why am I going here? There's no college atmosphere, which is part of why we go to these games. Part of why we go to these games is college atmosphere. Going back to
how far is it from Lawrence?
So it's about an hour drive. It's straight down I-70. But it's also people in Kansas City, Overland Park, that area that are going to drive out to Arrowhead. It's about a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive for them.
Yeah, I bet the crowd will be decent.
It's going to be like a cavern. Stadium holds 70,000 plus. I bet they struggle to get 30.
And what do they get in a normal home game?
Well, last year they got, close to 50. So last couple of years they've had a little bit more of an environment there in Lawrence than what they previously had. But which is not much.
It was more like 10.
Yeah, it's not been great. I'm just telling you, it's going to be a very generic, I think, environment, and I think that it's for TCU. There probably couldn't be a better situation for them to go in and play a team like that when there's not going to be this raucous environment. Okay, that's just my take on it.
Yeah,
that's just my take on it. But I'm also going to be interested in. I'm interested in that UCF game, that Baylor game, and of course, our game here goes without saying, right?
I think they're all fun except Iowa State, Houston. Yeah, I mean, I would watch any of them but that one because I feel like that one's just going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes me want to watch it.
Okay.
Suck it, Cougars.
Houston hate.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. We come to you from the First United Bank studio and look forward to you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to Double T 97.3 mobile app or the Visual Edge IT hotline. That's open too at 806-771-0973. Tech Talk Boys will be on location today. They'll be over at Twin Peaks from 3 until 6. And go over there and say hey to the fellas that are sitting in the chairs over there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Go over there and bug them a little bit. Tell them Morning Drive says hey. Okay? Morning Drive says hey.
Tell them Morning Drive rules.
They'll just laugh at you. Gus will. He'll be like, really? Hold my beer here for a second.
Morning Drive would beat you in a foot race.
Now, we know that's not the case. And there's just I don't know what we could. I do not know what we could. I don't know what we could beat them in. I mean, I really don't.
Tennis.
Well, I mean, if it's singles, you versus Clint, and you versus Gus.
Doubles. Just sit down. Go sit next to the net.
Stand next to the net?
Just whatever you want to do. Just stay out of my way.
Okay.
I will beat those two 1-on-2.
Really?
Easily.
Easily?
Easily.
Wow, I'd like to see
like
that.
0-0.
Really? You think you could beat
Neither one of those two know and play tennis. They don't.
No, I think you're right. I mean,
that's like, it's kind of like a niche sport. Like
sure.
it's not like everybody can pick up a basketball and have an idea how to play basketball, right? Mm-hmm. You know, tennis is. I mean, you either play or you don't play. Really, I would say the same thing to you. We could beat them in pool, and I would just tell you, just go sit on the bar stool over there. have a Mountain Are you
Dew.
really good at pool?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
All right, cool.
Yeah, just go over there and have a Mountain Dew and some wings, and let's
go.
let's go.
Now, if we were playing baseball, I think they would have the advantage because of Gus.
Yeah,
you know,
Mr. Hot Corner over there.
2-on-2 basketball. I mean.
They're going to beat us because I'm not very fleet of foot at all.
I mean, can you just keep one of them out of the paint, just rebound for me? I don't know. And do we get Jeff too for this competition?
And then who do they get? Brennan?
Brennan, yeah.
You can stuff him all day long, man.
What we'll do is we'll run a high screen and force Brennan to switch into the post, right? And so when we win that screen, Brennan's got to slide down and he's got to defend me on the block because I'm a dominant 6-footer, right?
Right, and then I'll do my
compared to Brendan, I am.
Then I'll do my Euro step through.
Do you know what a Euro step is?
I can do it. Yeah,
you can do it.
Sure.
Can you describe it?
I knew as soon as I brought that up, you guys.
It's a good basketball term.
Yeah, Euro. Well, the Euro step.
I've never used a Euro step in my life. It's a move that I wish I could.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've had a hard time teaching that to the 16-year-old.
I feel like that in beer pong, Gus would have an advantage, but I think that I could help you.
The shooting of the ping pong balls or the drinking of the alcohol?
Well, you got to do both. I mean,
I know that's the part.
Yeah. I feel like Gus's dexterity on that would be better than any of ours. So I feel like that we would be forced to drink more than Gus. So therefore we would lose.
Okay. I have no idea what kind of skills I have at beer pong because I've never played before.
Yeah.
But I am 1,000% confident that I could beat those two in tennis. 1-on-2.
1-on-2.
Now, in true doubles, you have to serve one game.
Yeah.
Every fourth game you have to serve.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, we might give up a few games because if you're going to double fault 4 times a game.
No, I'm a left-hander, man. I there were times when I had a pretty mean serve, and it's been a while since I've had a tennis racket in my hand. Mm-hmm. But I could serve a little bit back in the day. Just
get it in play. Get it in play. Just get it in. Okay. Just get it in the box, and we're beating them, Chuck.
I think I could do that. I think I could get it in the box.
When do you think the last time that Mike Gustafson or Clint Scott had a tennis racket in their hand?
I don't think Clint Scott has ever had a tennis racket in his hand. He's a wheat farmer. I mean, out in the middle of nowhere. They don't even have courts.
He keeps challenging me to play pickleball.
Is he a pickleballer?
Yeah, he is.
Really?
He dominates his wife on the pickleball court. Now he wants a piece of meat.
La-di-da. What about Gus? Gus a pickleballer too?
Gus is just a good athlete, man.
He is a good athlete.
Division I college athlete.
No, right.
Not something that most of us
It still kind of looks like it too.
Yeah, I'm sure he can move around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still kind of looks like he could do it for a time or two. I'm smart enough to know that I can't do it. Okay, I am that much smart. A couple people were critical of Jeff for saying that the upset in your question of the day was going to be Cincinnati over Texas. I got to tell you, I am genuinely legit concerned about this game, especially the more I kind of hear the talk about Cincinnati and kind of see a little bit of Cincinnati. The whole North Texas thing for me was more based on history than it was personnel. This is based on personnel, which is really how you should look at a game going, hey, I'm legit concerned about this, that if you don't mind your P's and Q's and you don't take care of business, this is no laydown whatsoever at all. So this whole line of scrimmage thing, that's the real deal.
Yeah, that's what all coaches will tell you. That's how you become a good football team, being able to win the battles in the trenches. And it all starts up front, Chuck.
Yeah.
How'd you like my coach voice?
It was pretty good.
All starts up front, and that's where they have an advantage. And unfortunately, to me, it lowers your ceiling. That's where you have a disadvantage.
It's like an Achilles heel.
Yeah, that's your weakness is offensive line and defensive line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like the defensive line is getting better. I think the offensive line has been okay. It's nowhere near a strength. It's not horrible. I mean, I think North Texas's O-line was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Ours isn't horrible. It's still not great.
One of the JUCO coaches that I did ball games for back in the day on football, he would always say no question about it. And so during like pregame and postgame stuff, there'd be times I'd ask him questions because my buddies that were listening at the station, they always thought it was really funny that Coach Hetwer would always go, no question about it, Chuck. And I would say things like, man, it's really the line of scrimmage is really where it's going to be at for this one. He would say, no question about it. No question about it. Every question was, no question about it. There's no question about it. This is a concerning game.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.